Hey guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe. This week we are talking about episode 6 of Lower Decks entitled Terminal Provocations. We had some interesting stuff going on with scavengers throwing stuff at the hull of the ship. We had crazy computer cores going wild and trying to take over the place, and we had holodecks gone wrong, paperclippy kind of style programs gone wild. So let's take a look at the episode. There's kind of a weird opening to this episode where all of the lower deckers are comparing the humming of warp engine sounds to each other, and they're comparing the Enterprise D and Voyager and the Cerritos and what frequency they're humming at and all that sort of thing. And Ransom comes around the corner and thinks they're all like possessed by some alien life form or whatever and tries to attack them or whatever. It's a kind of a nerdy but cute scene, I guess. So for starters, we get introduced to this new species called the Drukmani. Now, our captain of the Drukmani ship, some of you might remember his voice and say, oh, this voice sounds familiar to me. Well, you'd be right. And that would be why, because the actor who plays the Drukmani captain is none other than J.G. Hertzler, who played Martok in Deep Space Nine. And it seems like there's an old Federation ship that's wrecked and they're trying to claim salvage, and the Cerritos is trying to salvage it too. So they're kind of in a bit of a tug of war as to who gets to steal the parts from the ship, so to speak. And we get introduced to this new lower decker in the form of Ensign Fletcher. Now, in the process of the attempt to scavenge this old ship, Rutherford learns from Tendi that she doesn't know how to do zero-G salvage type stuff, you know, EV suit. So he takes it upon himself to take her to the holodeck to give her a bit of a training session on how to magnet and float, and so forth. Which kind of goes horribly wrong because Rutherford's programmed a training simulation with a character called Badgie, which is a play on the old Windows helper assistant Clippy, who always used to pop up on Windows desktops and annoy the hell out of us, asking if we want help and all this sort of thing. And you just, he would get significantly irritating. Get him off your desktop, you know. And Badgie's definitely a play on this old Windows PC icon. So in the process of telling Tendi about this program that Rutherford's created, Rutherford reels off, he goes, oh, the holodeck's used for other things apart from just Sherlock Holmes and Robin Hood and Sigmund Freud and Cyrano de Bergerac and Einstein and Da Vinci and Stephen Hawking and Socrates. He kind of reels off all of the holodeck programs we ever saw on Next Generation, I think, with the crew indulging in holodeck episodes with historical figures, which was kind of a cute little reference. And it was probably my the one moment in the episode that I laughed out loud, which I thought was funny. While Boimler and Mariner and Fletcher are trying to reprogram some isolinear cores, there's all this reference to this choo-choo dance, which I found highly irritating. I'm not sure whether this choo-choo dance is a reference to anything. If you guys know about a choo-choo dance or what this choo-choo dance is trying to refer to, I have no idea. But I found this reference and these moments in this episode kind of a bit irritating. So Boimler and Mariner go off to this choo-choo dance and leave Fletcher alone to finish all of the lower deckers' tasks. And it's not going so well for him. It's taking him a long time, so he decides to plug his brain into one of them to increase his IQ. And it all goes horribly wrong when the isolinear core decides to take on a life of its own, kind of trying to absorb every form of technology and to grow, take over the ship. Meanwhile, Rutherford hasn't really kind of done his maybe job as well as he should have in programming Badgie, because Badgie's kind of gone rogue. An incident where the Drukmani are throwing bits of ship wreckage at the Cerritos, the holodeck safeties go offline, and suddenly Badgie becomes a little bit psychotic. Starts to try to kill Tendi and Rutherford in all manner of brutal ways. And it kind of goes quite dark here in this in this part of this episode. Badgie's like ripping heads off people in the holodeck and ripping people's arms off and trying to stab people. It kind of takes a bit of a turn, and Badgie is quite brutal and quite dark in this. Gone down a weird road here. Meanwhile, on the bridge, Shaxs is desperately trying to shoot back at this Drukmani ship that keeps hurling garbage at the Cerritos, and they're taking all this damage, and Freeman just wants to end the dispute peacefully and doesn't want to shoot back, and Shaxs is dying to shoot them in the warp core with the phasers, but no, Freeman's just trying to, calm things down peacefully. It's that old Starfleet adage of, we don't provoke hostilities. We just try to end situations peacefully. Poor old Shaxs is just beside himself, desperate to blow this ship up, but Freeman is being very restrained. So in the end, this crazy ice linear core that Fletcher's created that's trying to take over the ship and everything, Mariner and Boimler end up trying to blow it out of an airlock, and it flies through space, attaches itself to the Drukmani ship, and basically blows up the Drukmani ship, which was just in time because the lack of isolinear cores in the shielding section, which is where it got removed from, meant that the Cerritos couldn't fire back and couldn't defend itself, and its weapons were down and its shields were down, and as a result, Fletcher gets a promotion. So he gets to go off to the Titan, which you guys might know is Captain Riker's ship. After Riker leaves the Enterprise at the end of Nemesis, he goes off to command the Titan. So Fletcher's got a posting under Captain Riker on the Titan, which is a kind of a cool little reference. Hopefully, I've got my fingers crossed that we're going to see the Titan and maybe Riker and Troy and so forth, perhaps maybe before the end of the season, hopefully. That would be a good one. I hope that happens. But Fletcher's promotion to the Titan doesn't go as well as one might hope, as he tries to put a whole lot of junk and trash into the warp core to burn it up and ends up getting demoted back to ensign again. So, yay Fletcher. Out of all of the episodes of Lower Decks, this one wasn't my favourite. The whole Badgie gone crazy thing seemed to go on quite a bit. I think once he'd played out that joke of the safeties being off on the holodeck, it kept going a little bit long. I think the joke maybe it outstayed its welcome just a little bit long. And the stuff that was going on with Boimler and Mariner and Fletcher with the crazy ice linear core taking on a life of its own, again, it was okay, but this episode wasn't my favourite of the season. Couple of little laughs. I think my biggest laugh was that all the references to all the different holodeck programs that we saw on the Enterprise that Rutherford just reeled off. That was probably my favourite line, and it was good to see J.G. Hertzler as who we know as Martok playing the Drukmani captain. But what did you guys think? Did you guys like the episode? Did you think it was a good one? Did you maybe not like it as much? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe and to share. Check out my merchandise at the merch store, link in the description below. And I'll be back soon with another review. See you then.